you guys just wanted to see how wrong I was. That's the only reason why you click the video. Even I can be wrong. So, cracked myself a beer just so I could have something to chat with you guys about. But yeah, I was wrong on the axle. I just kind of want to at least clarify a few things from the Strange axle kit that I got, and with the bearings and what I did wrong. And hopefully in the future, if you guys ever come across this or see somebody doing it improperly, such as myself, you'd be able to correct them and give them the right advice. I did reach out to a few professionals in support at Strange Engineering and from Racecraft, and I got the answers I needed. So wanted to inform you guys and clear the air as to what I was wrong about.
You are one pathetic loser. No offense.
Yeah, thanks, none taken. As you guys remember, in the last video, I actually was pressing on the bearings on the 35 spline Strange axles, and I came into an issue where the wedding ring that presses on would not get past the taper. And I was only putting on the actual bearings themselves. Now, when I left that video, I was just installing the axles into the axle tubes just so I could get wheel fitment. I cut the one, and I still have this one. This one's still in good shape, but I cut the one off because I couldn't get the bearing down any further, and I thought there was something wrong. Well, I was going to resize it and order the correct size, because these axles, you have to have some type of a retaining ring so that this bearing doesn't slide off. I already knew that. I just thought I had the wrong one. Upon further review, I spoke with the service department or technical support at Strange, as well as my guy that's been helping me at Racecraft. And I was told that with the kit, it was an A1021 bearing kit, that with that kit, that wedding ring that came with it is the correct size for the 35 spline axle. And when I took the measurements, I had basically a press-on fit from what I've ever done. I've never pressed on anything with more than 5 thousandths of clearance. Well, this was 15 thousandths that it needed to be able to expand that wed ring to be able to fit around the taper, right? So I was like, 15 thousandths, that's way too much. So with that, I reached out to them, and they're like, no, that's right. For these axles and the power that guys make with it, you have to have a retaining ring, or that wedding ring has to be that much tension around the shaft in order to hold the axle in case there's ever like a failure or something like that. It would be more likely that the axle stays inside of the housing versus if the axle breaks, it basically shoots out of the housing and the car gets, completely squirrely or whatever. Which you can watch videos and things of that nature and see if somebody breaks an axle or somebody's axle shoots out of the side of their car. It can create a lot of damage, very, very dangerous. So they're absolutely needed, but these ones, they are such a press-on fit. It wasn't that I was doing it wrong, it's just I didn't have the right tools to do this. So the big thing that you have to have is you do have to have, I only have a 12-ton press. It's minimum like 20 ton, and 20 ton sometimes isn't even enough. So it's 20 ton plus press is what I was told to be able to get them puppies on. There are some do's and don'ts, right? So a couple of the do's. So obviously use the wedding ring that comes with the A1021 kit. Like that's what you use with 35 spline Strange axles. Also have to use a 20 ton plus press in order to get those on there. Also, it's extremely important to be using these wed rings to lock this bearing in its full down position so that it retains it in here so that this axle can't come out of the actual housing of your rear end. Now, the material that these are made out of, So these guys here are made out of some type of a stainless steel material. I'm not exactly sure if it is stainless. I mean, possibly could be, but it's definitely, it's not magnetic. It felt soft when I was grinding it, as you can see in this video. And when I actually did get it cut off, it separated pretty easy, but normally these are somewhat like a, I don't know, like an iron or something like that material, so they can almost snap. And that's what I was concerned on, is if it expanded too much, it would just crack the material, and then it wouldn't be any good anyways. So these are actually made to expand for that press fit of that 15 thousandths clearance, and it acts like a rubber band around this shaft. So it basically just squeezes this shaft super hard, so it does not come off. So super important to use the wet ring that comes with it, and not an aftermarket one, or I don't even know if there is aftermarket ones, or a different size. Like if you were to just, you know, measure out the size and be like, oh, I'm just gonna get one that's, you know, 5 thousandths bigger, or whatever that press fit that you would assume would be right, it's not right. The other thing was just, you know, taking YouTube advice. Now, granted, call the kettle black, right? But I did kind of research after I did cut it to figure out why it wasn't fitting, and it seemed like everybody was either like heating them up, or they were using a larger press, or just having an easier time at actually getting the bearing, retaining ring, the wetting ring, excuse me, on. So I just couldn't understand why. So a couple of comments and people that are just messaging me were like, man, you got to get that thing like red hot and press it on, and they're just a bugger to get on there, and just the way life is, and so forth. So and this was on the weekend, so once the weekday hit, I reached out and talked to the guys, and they're like, no, that's just the way it is. You have to use a big press, and absolutely do not use heat on the oh no, it's stuck on there. Do not use heat on this ring. The one thing is this material is already treated to be able to expand and contract. If you get this sucker red hot to then make it softer to, or malleable to then slide it through and press onto this taper, you're changing the properties of the metal, and it will not contract the same. Therefore, you're kind of not really even doing what the job of this is intended to, is to retain that bearing, that axle in the housing. And it could, even once you have this on there, still the axle could fail and come out of the housing, and you know, you could have catastrophic accident, really bad stuff. As well as when you make this red hot, and then you then press it down, and then it's down on the shaft. Well, this shaft, this entire shaft, is heat treated specifically from Strange for its use. And when you put something red hot on it, now you are then changing the heat property, the heat treatment property of this portion of the axle. So that can also lead to a catastrophic failure by messing up the actual axle itself. So you do not want to heat this up. You just want to press this sucker on with a big old press and a lot of power, and just know that that's what it's got to be. So other than that, I did order another one. I had to actually order it from Jegs, because ordering one from Strange, they're only like $10, and you have to order at least 20, and then it's another like $20 for shipping. So it was like $40 or something. And I was like, actually I had to order a hat or a shirt or something to make the amount. So I just went to Jegs. They had the same one, and it was $25 shipped. So went that route, got one single that I will then take to a place that has a lot larger press than what I have to be able to get these on. But that's my story, and that's just a clarification that I want to share with you guys, because sometimes when you're wrong, admit it and fix it. and at least let the people know, because I know that there's been people that watch this video. I don't want to be the guy that people are like, oh, you're an idiot, or do it the same way I did it and realize that I'm instructing the wrong way. So full transparency. Really appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, any other times that I ever mess up, I will share. I'm not perfect. Hopefully you guys have a great one. Check you in the next one.